Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I bet not say you not a man.
That's it.
Hey, the man cave. There's just three of us, but three voices that everyone will love to hear from. Not so much from me from time to time, but Sean Clinch here, Hardball Hards, and our special guest, Gavin Graham. We're going to talk about the Graham legacy tied to one of the OGs of DBU at the University of Texas. But before we get to that, Hards and Gavin, we got a big thanks to Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. Because of him and Cosmic Coffee and Beer Garden, we are allowed to do this, where everyone sees our beautiful GQ faces and get to learn about amazing people like Gavin Graham. Harch, how's the week?
The week is good. Thank you for having me on again. I'm part of the company, man. You know what I'm saying? We're moving and we're shaking, but most importantly, I'm just thankful, man. I just want everyone to know that June is Men's Awareness Month, and so everyone needs to make sure that they go get themselves checked. As I've said before, as men, we don't like to go to places. We don't like to be seen by physicians because we can handle it. We men. While we have those little hiccups where we need to go get checked. So do you a favor, do your family a favor. Don't be too proud. Don't be scared. Go in there and get checked. They get paid to be doctors. They go to school to be doctors. They could get paid to take care of us. And Sean and I both work in the middle, and I'm sure Gavin's going to have something to say here pretty soon. But as men, go get checked and don't be afraid. But other than that, I'm straight, bro.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, man. There needs to be more awareness, and it shouldn't be taboo with men and getting checked. And it's like taking care of your vehicle every 3 to 6 months. You got to do it. And for us, maybe just annually. Could not emphasize that more. Hey, you've heard about Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency quite a bit. The new sponsor, if you will, Cosmic Coffee and Beer Garden. Special place, very much an ATX feel to it. They are the main sponsor to the Tell Me Something Good segment in segment 2. And if you're not sure where they're located, on the south side, 121 Pickle off of South Congress, and they are going to have some future fun episodes with us involving coffee and sampling and tasting. And I know Big Mike and Coach Mo and Hardball Hards, you guys are all about tasting the notes other than wine. So we're going to get some coffee tasting. Now, we got to introduce our guy here. Hards, you've known him and his family for quite some time. I've known the Graham since 2012, and it's going on 9 years. The other half, there's three amazing men. Of course, we mentioned William Graham, one of the storied members of DBU at the University of Texas, NFL alum, and then Gavin and his brother. And, of course, Gavin, welcome to the Man Cave. Is this what you envisioned it would be like, or is it already more impressive than you ever thought it would be?
Hey, man, y'all's podcast is the real deal. It's I keep up with it. I see the episodes get dropped each week, and it's growing. Went from just audio to now video, and it's a beautiful thing. Y'all doing good stuff. Y'all spreading a lot of awesome stories, and I'm excited to be a part of it and continue to follow along with y'all's podcast.
Hey, we appreciate that. Hey, begin with, before we go back and forth between Harge and I, because Harge probably has more insight due to his ties to the basketball and all the sports that you guys have been tied to. Graham family legacy, and we don't want to leave out your mother, the matriarch. Tremendous
Hey,
I was
family.
going to say, you better make sure you put
I was about
mama
to
in the
say,
conversation because she'll cut you deep.
hey,
Yeah, yes, you.
mama's the one that holds it all together from the time we was kids to this current day. She's the glue that holds it all together. We wouldn't be the Graham family without mama.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, that's the funny part about it. So you were mentioning it, Sean, and I've known the Graham family for a very long time, since Hayden was playing basketball and your dad playing football at the University of Texas. His relationships with my uncle, my family members, and also through Kenny Sims. But most importantly, we've talked about this before, Gavin, because I've talked to you when you were at Texas State, and I've watched you go through your ups and downs as far as injuries and, trying to get to that next level. But your brother, Hayden, who I know is your big bro and always got your back, and you're always looking out for him. He had an opportunity to go to Air Force Academy, but prior to him being accepted into the Air Force Academy, we had some battles against Anderson. We had some battles in the summer league with basketball when he was playing for Johnny Moore, another Longhorn legend. So we've had so much fun, and I appreciate your family for who they are, because you said it. Your mom is the backbone for all of us, for all of you, and she keeps everybody in line. But she also gave you foundation, and I know you speak very highly of your mother all the time, and I know what she means to you. But for those that don't know, talk about your father, talk about your mother, and talk about your brother, who, by the way, tell him thank you for his service, for being in the Air Force Academy.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with my mother, because like I said, she's the one that holds it all together. And there's not enough words I could put together to ever express my gratitude and appreciation for not what she's been as just a mother to me, but who she is as a person. Honestly, there's not a bone in her body or a drop of blood in her that has anything with bad intentions. She's the sweetest woman I've ever met. Obviously, I've been blessed to have her around me my entire life. But truthfully, the way I've seen her throughout the course of my life, go out her way or prioritize other people in front of her needs or her wants to help those around her. So my mother, not only is she a caring soul that likes to help other people, but she's brilliant in so many different ways. A lot of times when you talk about just the brilliance of people, everyone gets focused on academics, especially in today's society, where, maybe back when my dad was growing up and my mom were growing up, it wasn't pushed to go to college. You could get out and go get a job, and you could have a very successful life with just a high school degree. So when I talk about the brilliance of my mother, it's her ability to see people and recognize, when they need help, to read people's emotions. And she knows how to make people feel good about themselves, and not doing it expecting anything in return, but just out of the pureness of her heart. And man, the family dynamic, having myself as an athlete, my older brother, my father, I think the best thing that happened to our family was having that neutral ground of somebody who didn't surround their whole lives with athletics.
Right.
I can only imagine if you added another athlete into the equation, and as in making my mother an athlete and having that same mindset my brother, my father, and I had, that I don't think anybody would have been able to sit back and relax in that house growing up, because the emotions that go into sports and the time and dedication. It's nice. It was nice to have my mother, that one that, no matter what happened, she was going to tell you she was proud of you, that she loved you, and when you were struggling, she was going to make you feel better. She was going to pick you up emotionally, and she was going to allow you to wake up the next morning and work hard that next day, knowing that when you come home, mama's going to be there supporting you. And then to go into my father, man, the life he's lived, the stories he could tell. It's funny. There's so many stories that he could start, and 2 words in, I could say, Dad, I got it. I'll tell your story for you. And it's just, but that's the beauty of it, that with our family, we've always communicated with each other. There's never been closed doors. They've never tried to shelter my brother and I from things, starting at a very young age. So he's always been very transparent with us, from what it was like for him growing up, being born in 1959. Sorry for disclosing your age, Dad, but hey, it is what it is. But being born in 1959.
Black don't crack, dog. Black don't crack.
Hey, you know what it is? We always joke, my man's hairline hasn't flinched our whole life.
That is the truth.
Hey, he brushes it back, and his hairline still looks the same as it did when I was a child. It's impressive. But yeah, no, he growing up, in the South, born in Mississippi, then moving and growing up in Silsbee, Texas. He was a child during the civil rights era. He felt that feeling and knew what it was like to have to look up and see a whites only sign or a colored sign, going into restaurants, going into bathrooms, water fountains, wasn't allowed in public pools, things like that. And those are stories and experiences that he shared with my brother and I as we were growing up, to not try to make himself unique in any way, but try to be like, hey, life is different for everybody. And unfortunately, life still to this day is different for people based off the way they physically look, by the color of their skin. But then, growing up, he was a very involved father. Both my parents were heavily involved, and my brother and I are forever indebted to my parents for what they've done for us as just growing up. But, my father, I'll always be able to think back to the times in the front yard. He's teaching my brother bump and run coverage, inside leverage, outside leverage. I mean, little kids, and we're out there playing technical DB technique out there, covering each other. We rotate from receiver to DB back and forth all day. Playing basketball 2-on-1. He's out there, his little turnaround jumper. I could walk in the driveway to this day and point to the exact spot that when he needed to score on us, he was going to go there and he was going to pull up over both of us and shoot it. I mean, it's countless amounts of childhood experiences from both my mother and my father that I share with my brother, that to this day, when I'm doing something, I'm working out and it's super hard or I'm stressed out, I can close my eyes and I think back to my brother and I being in the front yard playing. And that's what's so special to me, that the four of us in my family have that bond like that. And then segueing into my brother, he's a unique individual, and I say that in the best way possible. He was blessed with the ability to shoot a basketball. I don't say this in any negative way, but he was that one that he could watch cartoons and eat cereal and then go drop 30 on your head. And then you say, oh, Hayden, what do you do in your extra time to get? I watch cartoons and eat cereal. don't. He worked hard, but he worked hard. He worked very hard athletically when he was required to. And then I think he recognized at a young age that I can run, I can jump, and I can shoot a basketball naturally. And he took advantage of that, and it carried him through high school with a good career. And he was blessed to have the opportunity to go to the Air Force Academy to play basketball. And he had a great career while he was there. And it set him up for a bright future. And every single day I see what he's doing. We communicate. I'm incredibly proud of him, what he's accomplishing now in his post-athletic career, being an officer in the military. Just this past month, he got promoted to captain in the Air Force. And so, growing up, having a father who he was.
That's my dog.
Yeah, he's doing big things. Him and his wife. Hey, shout out to my sister-in-law, Paige. She's a captain in the Air Force as well. They're a dynamic duo, and they lead by example. Every single day I wake up, and if I need to know, hey, who's an example of people I can follow the path to success, I can just look at my brother and my sister-in-law. Love both of them to death. She's family to me. I know technically she is by marriage, but the way I feel, she's like a sister I never had. But yeah, I mean, I watch my brother and the responsibilities that he has within his career. And I'm sure there's things he can't even disclose to me, but just on the surface, what I know he does, I commend him on everything he does, the way he handles himself professionally, in his personal life. And that's one thing that he led by example at a young age. He never got in any trouble. And my father, he has that fear instilled in us still to this day. I got to tighten it. He's my best friend, but till the day either one of us goes down, I will fear him with my whole heart, because I know he's nothing to play with. It's that dad strength.
Right.
But it's
for sure.
I could go on all day about every single person in my family and how important and special they are to me. But yeah, no, my brother, he's an incredible young man on his way to immense amounts of success at a young age. My father laid the foundation in the athletic career. My mother kind of helped instill that emotional side in us to be in tune to other human beings and not just be an athletic, just a killer all the time on the field or on the court, but when you step away, to be able to interact with people as a non-athlete as well.
That's a tremendous summary, because there's so much more to you guys than what you said, but that was well put in a summary. And if I challenge everybody who watches this or listens to it still in the audio form, if you have an opportunity, meet every one of the grands, beginning with Mama. That's the one.
Hey, start with Mama. She's gonna set the tone.
Absolutely, she is, and to give
She
you
gonna
guys,
let us know if you a good or bad apple.
Yeah, hey, she's gonna read real quick. She's like, or she's gonna be like, I like them.
all of you are good follows on social media too, and it's watching the love between your mom and dad and the fun they have with the dogs and everything. It's tremendous, and with you guys, and then welcoming in the ladies of your lives. To add to the Graham story, for people who were not aware, your dad, in I believe late 70s, early 80s, played for those great defenses where nearly everyone was drafted back then. And for you, Gavin, went to Anderson High School here in Austin, Texas, a tremendous player, went on to Texas State, DB, then linebacker. And then your last year, the COVID year, I believe maybe 2 years now, you got to play for Jake Spavital. Tell us what it's like, as you obviously, people always say for all of us, to try to leave a situation or a place better than when you found it. Do you feel like you did that under the leadership with Jake Spavital?
I won't say I hope. I don't like to use the word hope because I feel like hope is for those that, they haven't really prepared for something. But if I had a gut feeling, I would say I left it better than I found it. This past fall, I made it a point of emphasis of mine to extend in the locker room, be around the younger guys. All the wisdom that I learned throughout my time at Texas State, things I wish that, my freshman year, senior would have grabbed me and told me. Those are the things I would try to sit around with the younger guys in the locker room and talk about. That, hey guys, you don't have to go out every weekend and do things like that to be cool. Be responsible, set the tone of showing up early, working hard, being a good person. If you see someone doing something wrong, don't just let it slide. Point it out. You see trash on the locker room floor and you see someone that left it there, tell them go pick it up and throw it away. Yeah, there's janitors, but they shouldn't have to pick up after you. They should be able to walk in and be like, ooh, someone did my job for me. So things like that are telling guys, hey, respect women, be a good young man. Make it to where, one day if you have a daughter, you would hope that the way you treated somebody in college would be how someone treats your daughter in the future. So I would try to be a positive influence. And I'm no perfect human being. Nobody's perfect. But the least I could do is just leave it a better place than I found it, like you said. And that's throughout my time, especially in the past year when I do interviews with football. My goal is always to leave this world a better place than I found it.
I mean, obviously, I got a chance to see you quite a bit down there, and you dealt with a lot of injuries. For those that go through the injuries, the struggle, the mental aspect of it, what would be something that you would tell someone as you've gone through that and what you've learned from your injuries and dealing with that? Because everybody can't deal with injuries the same way. Right. You were making your way back, got hurt again. You get back, you got hurt again. Yeah. What would you tell someone that is looking at those situations and saying, man, I just can't get through it. I can't get right. How do you address that?
Everything happens for a reason. And I start with that, and without carrying it on too long, going in, taking too much time to cover this topic. I tell people to this day, if anybody asks, tearing my ACL and rupturing my bicep tendon are the two best things that ever happened to me. Some people look at me crazy when I say that, but for the first 3.5 years of my time spent in college at Texas State, I went to school and I played football. I didn't really do anything else. And some would say, hey, well, you're taking care of your business, staying out of the way, staying out of trouble. And that's true. But the one important thing that I really didn't do, because naturally I'm kind of an introvert, is I didn't network as much as I should have my first 3.5 years. And unfortunately, with the chaos that popped off in 2020, so I got ahead of myself. So when I tore my ACL, third game of the year, my senior year, 2.5 months after that, I'm supposed to graduate with my undergrad degree, finish up early. And I go down, and I'm not lying to you when I say, as I'm laying on the field at SMU, the first two things that popped in my head were, okay, I got a redshirt year, so I'm gonna come back and play. And then the next two things popped in my head were, I got to go through another fall camp, because everybody who plays football knows fall camp is a grind. And then I thought to myself, I said, oh man, I got to go back to school. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do in school again. And I went into the injury tent, and here's a funny part. As I'm laying on the field, and my trainer's looking at me, and our team doctor's out there, they're trying to calm me down. And I looked at him. I said, Doc, I know what happened. I said, I said, I don't have a degree, but I took the classes. I know what happened. I'm not a doctor, but I know what happened. And they found that so funny. And then they took me into the injury tent. And I said the same thing as he's doing all the tests on my knee and stuff. I said, oh, I'm not a doctor, but I know what happened. I've taken the classes. And at that moment, I'm feeling bad for myself. I was playing victim for a split second because I'm thinking, oh man, I'm thinking about the rehab process, the surgery, and you hear all the dark sides of it. Of man, it hurts so bad, it takes so long to come back. And I came out the injury tent. At this point, I was on crutches. They had ice on my knee, and I saw my parents, and I could tell they were concerned. And right then, it kind of hit me. I was like, you know what, like. Stop pouting, Gavin. Things happen for a reason. You know, the same opportunity that could present itself tomorrow. If I got my head down, time's not going to stop for me. I got to pick my head up and I got to handle it with, I don't know, just be positive throughout the whole thing. So we got up into the locker room at halftime and I sat there and I let the locker room clear out. And before I showered up and changed, I called my parents. They're sitting in the stands. I could still hear all the noise. And I told them, I was like, you know what, guys? I said, I'm going to be perfectly fine. I said, I got a good support system. I got y'all. I got Hayden. I got my incredible girlfriend, Brooke. And I got an incredible coaching staff, training staff, all that stuff. I said, so I'm going to be perfectly fine. I said, I promise y'all, when I come back next year, I'm going to be a better football player than I was prior to this injury. Hung up for my parents, called my brother because I know he had heard what happened, and I told him the same thing. And then my girlfriend, who she was on the Texas State women's basketball team at the time, they were on like a team camping retreat. So I know she was watching the game, and I know she was panicking, freaking out. Because she knows how hard I am on myself and stuff like that. So I called her, told her the same thing. And from that day forward, I never looked back. And I can honestly, God, truthfully say the hardest day of rehab was the first day post-surgery. That was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt. Took some ibuprofen in the training room. Told myself, hey, it is what it is. We can handle this two ways. And I put my head down and I worked. And like I said, I had an incredible support staff around me. And after that first day out of surgery, I was blessed. There wasn't a single day throughout my rehab where I was down on myself, where I was like, I can't do this, because I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to come back, and I wanted to be a pivotal part of the team, and I wanted to be a positive influence on those around me and lead by example. So I went through that rehab process. I was blessed and fortunate to have an incredible recovery. Got back sooner than expected. Went through summer workouts with the team. You know, amongst all the chaos of COVID, we were blessed to be able to come back and work out. And we went through that, and I was feeling good. Got into camp, and I think it was first or second day of pads. Boom, took a shot on my shoulder, fell on it. And then I think really the rest of camp, I was just sidelined until the first week. But I was blessed. Started out the season, was making some plays, having a little bit of success, enjoying my time. I think that this past fall was the most fun I've had playing football since I was a child in the front yard. And that was because of my teammates, because of my coaching staff. And I loved the game, and I enjoyed stepping out there every single time I stepped on the field. I felt like I was a kid in the front yard again. And then fast forward to Halloween night, and there's a little backstory to this that's kind of not creepy, but it's odd, and I'll tell y'all about that. Before every single game, the last thing I would listen to was the theme song from Halloween, Michael Myers' theme song. And I don't know, that just kind of snapped me out of being normally who I am and kind of getting ready to go play a football game. So Halloween night, I go out there, we're playing Louisiana Lafayette. And after listening to the theme song from the movie Halloween, like I will before every game, on Halloween night was when I ruptured my bicep tendon. And sometimes I don't even think about it, but that was the last snap of football I'll ever play in my life. And I don't dread it at all. I say it was the best thing that happened to me along with my ACL injury because it allowed me to have closure on my football career. If I hadn't had that injury and I finished up the year and had a decent year, I would have trained for pro day. I would have done all that. And so all the opportunities that popped up throughout the rest of the fall and through the winter, I would have ignored. I wouldn't have given them second thought or given them time because I would have been like, no, I got to prepare for pro day. I got to prepare for pro day. So having that injury, yes, it cut my season short, but it allowed me to kind of close that chapter and move on and start preparing for that next step in life. So those are I know this original question was about injuries, but all I can say is, man, just have a positive outlook. Whatever you're going through, I promise there's somebody out there who's got it worse. And that's what I remind myself. A man by the name of Les Brown back in the day, motivational speaker, he said, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. And the first time I heard that, I think was in 8th or 9th grade. And still to this day, that's the first thing I tell myself every single day when I shut my alarm off. And I think that's what allowed me to have a positive outlook on life every single day I wake up.
That's an interesting perspective that I think not only student athletes, but a lot of us, even in our like hards, we're older guys. We need to hear that to remind ourselves to have that perspective that things happen for a reason and embrace it. And it helps us move on to other opportunities or move on to the next day without asking ourselves why all the time. Why do things happen? Well, it happens. We're trying to find the reason. Now, you said injuries and Harge, you listed off a resume of injuries that Gavin suffered. And I think that's a good segue to where Gavin is now in the Barton Creek area at Vision Body. And you're still somewhat new there, but there is this cutting edge technology that I had the opportunity. You showed it to me. It's Bluetooth based. It's a bodysuit that I'm going to look horrible in whenever I try it until I get about a month or two in. I mean, we're talking about fat guy in a little coat when I put this thing on. But and you can see that on our social media, Twitter at Stories Man Cave, our Facebook page as well. But Gavin, talk about this transition you made to Vision Body and the amazing people who own it as well, and this new technology, how it works.
Yes, sir. So, I was very fortunate to get connected with this company straight out of once football season ended. I had the mindset that, hey, I'm gonna start training. I'm gonna do things on my own. Not that I didn't trust nobody else, but early on, I kind of knew I wanted to be my own boss throughout life. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to train people out of my garage in San Marcos. And then I got connected with an incredible guy down in San Marcos, who's another Texas State alumni, Will Hayward. Yeah. He ran track and field and played football down there. And so I got connected with him, learned so much from him, helping him train young athletes. And then I got a phone call one day. And I'm not sure if I can mention exactly who called me, but they're an incredible human being, they're a family friend. And they said, hey, what are you doing? And I kind of told him what I was doing. And he said, hey, well, if you're interested in this opportunity they share with me, he said, meet me at this location tomorrow. And I think it was like 8 a.m. And I said, okay, I'll be there. He's a person who I consider family and I know I can trust. So I was like, hey, if he's got an opportunity and he wants me to be there, I'm going to show up. And so I showed up, pulled up, drove through the Barton Creek neighborhood in awe. as I drove in, I was like, I didn't know there was a neighborhood like that's set in the city I grew up in. And so I pulled up and I walked in and I got to meet this incredible man named Royce Dennis, former professional track and field athlete, currently the head track and field coach at Houston Tillotson. And he's the one he's our business owner. He's our CEO. And at this company called Vision Body Texas. This is the polo. I got it on right here. Oh, it's all flipped around in the camera.
Yeah, it's looking good. It's a good logo. We can see it clear as day.
And so I walked in, and it's a nice private workout studio, and they were telling me about the technology. And so it's EMS is what's for short, but the full name is electric muscular stimulation. And so within our suits, there's electrodes. It almost looks like a wetsuit. And Mr. Clinch saw it, so he can tell you it's like a wetsuit that somebody's surfing. But there's electrodes on it. And on the iPad, it's Bluetooth connected to an iPad, the battery on your hip, small little thing, probably about the size of your phone. And on the iPad that pops up on the screen, I can then on the display, it shows like the body, and you can see the different points of activation we can control. And so it goes from with legs, it includes quads and hamstrings, glutes, lower back, upper back, neck, chest, abs, and arms. And so all those different electrodes are within your suit, and you're free. You're not hardwired to a machine. There is EMS training out there, but most of them are hardwired to a machine. But that's the beauty of what we do. You're free. You can go out there and run routes on a football field. You can get cardio workout in. You can go cycling, whatever you need to do. But so on that machine or on the iPad, I can control the stimulation of all those different muscle groups I mentioned, one at a time, all of them at once, multiple, whatever I want to stimulate. And so normally when a human being is working out or training and they're trying to get a specific muscle group activated, we'll recruit about 60% of the muscle fibers within that said muscle group. And then the next example I use is then you hear those stories where it's like, whoa, a woman's child got trapped under a car and she went and deadlifted a whole car and she never worked, and she's someone who never works out. So us as humans have the capability to do superhuman feats, or to us it's considered superhuman because we can't just do it on command. We hit that fight or flight situation, that life or death. We tap into things in our body we don't know we're capable of. And so when you have this suit on and we can help stimulate those muscle fibers within your body, we can get you activating up to like 90 to 95% of those muscle fibers. So it's truly the scientific way to get bigger, faster, and stronger, faster. And I truly think it can absolutely revolutionize the way everyday adults train. I say adults because with the suit and the technology, for safety precautions, it's 18 and up will put in the suit. We'll have some athletes that may be, on the verge of being 18 and they look like a grown man or a grown woman already. They can get into the suit. But so within that suit, we can stimulate and activate up to 90, 95% of those muscle fibers. So within research shows that 30 minutes of working out in this suit is equivalent to 3 hours working out outside of the suit.
Wow.
So it's a faster way to get bigger, faster, and stronger, while also giving people time back in their day. You often run into so many people where it's like, oh, why don't you work out? I just don't have time. You wake up 15 minutes early and go to bed 15 minutes later. That's 30 minutes. That's all you need in one of these suits. And so you can get that fitness back in your life, get better results than you would if you were training for an hour every day outside of the suit. And the beauty of it is because we can activate more of those muscle fibers, you don't have to put all that heavy weight on your body. You don't have to back squat a ridiculous amount of weight because we're activating, stimulating so many more muscle fibers that you can lift less weight than you normally would, but you're stimulating your muscles so much more that you're still getting better results. So you think your everyday adults, it allows them to get workout in with their pack schedule. You think about athletes, bigger, faster, and stronger. That's what every athlete's in search for: speed, strength, conditioning. And so you can do that without having to put as much wear and tear on your body. And then you even think about the elite athletes. Say, for example, somebody like a LeBron James or a Tom Brady who has, they defy science. They're dominating at ages of their career where most people would be like, hang it up, you're done. But they're still out there dominating. Think about how hard they still have to train. And, they got it down to a science. They know exactly what they're doing. But you think about some that aren't as blessed. For example, LeBron is a genetic freak. And I say that in the best way possible. But think about somebody who may not be as blessed as he is genetically, but they're still competing at that elite level. And they're starting to get up there in age. You can take that wear and tear off your body from having to lift such heavy weights or train, 3 hours a day, and you can get better results in, an hour to an hour and 30 minutes. I say that duration of time for them because I know they're on a whole nother level than your everyday human being. But yeah, it's really cutting edge science. And it allows you to just, like I said, a scientific way to get bigger, faster, and stronger, faster. And it's really one of the most unbelievable things. When I first came here and worked out, I didn't touch a single weight. I put on the suit, and Coach Royce had me go through all these isometric holds from, a squat hold to a lunge hold, a push-up hold, all these different things. And the next day I was more sore than I've ever been after any college off-season workout. Because my body was not used to stimulating that amount of muscles or muscle fibers within that said muscle group. And so I woke up the next day and I was like, I was sore, but it was the next day. I woke up.
Second day.
Yeah, I woke up and I was like, what did this man do to me? Like, I don't understand what's going on right now. And still, every single time I work out in that suit, I hit a level of sore that I know if I didn't have that suit on, I wouldn't be able to get. So it's incredible. And Sean, you came in and checked it out. I can't wait to put you through a workout in it. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna introduce you to it. But hey, I know you'll love it.
To have Harge make fun of me and Big Mike the second day afterwards.
We'll get them in here too. They can make fun of you, but you'll get the last laugh.
I just want mine to activate my abs. That's it, man. I'm going to
we can get you an at-home suit, and you can have it on right now, just sitting there. We can activate those abs.
That's what I need, player.
Hey, man, miracles do happen. Believe in it. The EMS training, Vision Body Texas and Barton Creek. What's the best way to find these classes so people can, if they're interested in enrolling in those classes?
Yeah, so you can go online to our website, Vision Body Texas, and we got it up on the website now to where you can go on there and actually book sessions through there. You don't have to reach out to us through a phone call or anything like that. You can go on there, you can see the different classes offered, and you can book and come in and try it out just through the website. So yeah, Vision Body Texas, that's our website. Same as the name, just type it into your search bar and it'll pop up.
Man, that's good stuff. And Hard's favorite part, and I bet Gavin has a ton of these. The Man Cave Story, sponsored by the Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. Gavin, I think we all know the definition of a man cave story. It could be, what do you think, Harge? I mean, there's no parameters on this. I mean, his dad, his playing days at Anderson, Texas State, or maybe in that EMS training suit. Some kind of man cave story involved with that.
What you looking for?
Harge, man, we love humor, right? Did we lose him?
He's frozen up there.
He's frozen. He's in deep thought.
He's thinking about that suit. Yeah, ooh, man, I don't know if I want it on my abs no more.
Hard is thinking about that six-pack he's going to have at age 49.
Hey, it can be done. Age is just a number.
Well, let's roll. What comes to mind when you think of a story that you love to tell that really drives home the comedy and laughter?
Since I'm sitting here looking at the background and I see all the UT stuff, and my dad was going to hop on here with us. So I'll tell a really funny story that involves our whole family. So growing up, I spent a lot of time at the UT football stadium every Saturday watching games. Probably up till I was about middle school before my schedule got too packed with sports. And so this is a funny one. We were getting ready for a UT football game. My dad's all excited. He's out in the kitchen. And he's getting ready to go enjoy his time at the game. And he had just cracked open a beer in the kitchen. And we had the dog gate up going into the kitchen, so the dog couldn't come in. And so my brother and I are out in the living room. My mom had just walked back into their room. And my dad, it's game day. Let's get excited. And he goes and he takes that first leg. And usually he would just step over the gate. But I guess he was feeling a little frisky today. So he went to go do a little, not really jump over it, but a little swing leg, hop over it. Oh my goodness. When I say this man's foot clipped the gate, it clipped the gate. Oh, and he starts going down, and my brother and I are watching it, and I'm telling you, it felt like this lasted for eternity. But I'll tell you this, shout out to you, Dad. If I had never seen you before, I know you're an athlete because you know how to fall. This man, as he's going down, he's got his beer in his hand, so he doesn't want to spill it. So he tucks and he rolls incredibly gracefully. And he comes up and he holds that thing up in there and he said, "I still got it." But when I say this man came out mid-sentence, "It's game day, let's get hyped," and that foot clipped that gate and he went down. And when I say my stomach hurt because we were dying laughing, I mean, we went to the game and all his buddies were sitting around telling him that story because I don't know what happened, but time absolutely slowed down when he tripped and was falling over that gate. And my mom, she doesn't laugh at people when they get hurt because, like I said, she's a caring soul. But if something like that happens and then she finds out you're okay, she's gonna die laughing. And she heard the thud of him hitting the ground, and her head popped out that room, and she saw him on the ground, and she saw him laughing, and she couldn't help herself. She just started rolling. And we tried to get my dad to reenact it, but he said he didn't want to go down like that again. So we had to tell her what occurred. But that to this day, when I think about like UT football, for whatever reason, that's one of the first things that pops in my head because that's what we were getting ready to go watch.
That was hilarious. We when we see your dad, we're going to ask him. I want him to hold a beer
and try to reenact
over something, a hurdle or something, and keep that beer like the Statue of Liberty. That was
that was
what y'all failed to realize is called an athlete. You understand what I'm saying? That's an athlete being able to tuck and roll and not spill a drop. That's my dog, William Graham.
He had just cracked it open and not a drop came out. It was one of the most impressive things I've seen.
That is phenomenal. Well, Gavin, man, this has been long overdue, but also it's proof that when you're having a good time, man, the minutes go by too quickly, and we're definitely going to have to get your father on before the Texas football season kicks off, and I think we're less than 90 days away. And
I think I did see something from Texas State
85 days ago,
saying it was 100 days.
85 days.
Unbelievable. And we are so proud
but not
of
just
you.
Wait, Sean, not just Texas State is 85
State, the
days away
Bobcats.
as well. Give my man Gavin his love. Double G's is at you.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm a Bobcat for life. Hey, and mark my word, this is gonna be that year. I got full faith in Coach Spav and the rest of that staff. I couldn't get on here and not shout out my position coach, Coach Mims. That's I consider him one of my best friends.
And he's from Pflugerville, isn't he?
He's from Pflugerville.
Stony Point.
Yeah, he's from the Pflugerville area, went to Stony Point. But I'll tell you what, I was incredibly blessed, not just to have that entire staff for my last 2 years there, but to be coached by Coach Mims, and not just be coached by him, but have him as a mentor as well. He's an incredible man, young in his coaching career, but the sky's the limit for him. It's incredible to see how he coaches kids and how he can get the absolute best out of everybody he coaches. So shout out to Coach Mims and the rest of the Texas State football organization.
Hey, and they're going to take a step up. And Harge is there all the time with the Bobcat football.
Oh, he pulled up on me in the parking lot one day. I was walking through. It was during camp too. I'm tired walking back. He pulled up on me. I was, whoa!
I was like, I gotta come check on my boy, man. I gotta come check on Gavin, like you said to start the show, Sean. I mean, unbelievable family, unbelievable legacy, good friends, hearts, and a little brother that I didn't have. So I'm always proud of them boys, and they grew up with my son. So, hey, it takes a village, right? It takes a village, and I'm just proud of the man that you're becoming, young fella.
I appreciate that very much.
And you guys, the Grahams are like family to me, brothers for life, and thankfully for your dear mom, man. She you guys are a tremendous family, and I'm just grateful to be tied to you guys.
Hey, I'm grateful to be tied to you, my man.
And Harge is that other brother, the other big brother I didn't have. So,
Right on.
Well, Gavin, we appreciate it, man. And you are now alumni member of the Stories Inside the Man Cave Alumni Association.
Hey, I'm honored to be a part of it.
And you will be on again. Hey, we'll wrap up with segment 2, where we'll be talking a lot about Omaha and a hint of Dippin' Dots. That's coming up in segment 2 of Stories Inside the Man Cave. One of the most loyal fans of Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast since day one has been Jimmy Saxton, the former Longhorn and former Westlake Chaparral, and the son of a Longhorn legend who was a Heisman finalist. He is also our primary sponsor for all of your insurance need. Log on to saxtoninsurance.com or give him a call at 512-441-1082. Again, that phone number, 512-441-1082. Jimmy Saxton, an Austin original, and has been insuring Austin for nearly 3 decades. Before his final deployment to Iraq, Travis Mannion left everyone with a simple but powerful ethos. If not me, then who? It describes a sense of duty felt by service members and their families. Today, it is a constant reminder for all of us to live with character and put the interests of others before our own. To learn more about this foundation and how to get involved, log on to TravisMannion, MANION.org.
Bounced back great from the Big 12 tournament, and we did exactly what we needed to do. we were talking, and I feel like whatever happened in OKC definitely needed to happen. I think we needed that fire to be lit underneath us again, and so we came in with a chip on our shoulder. And I don't think we were ever in trouble at all this weekend. So we took the lead and just ran with it throughout the whole weekend. I thought we played very well.
Hey, welcome back. Segment 2. Hey, Gavin, if you want to, you are more than welcome.
I was not sure, so I was not going to hop off without being told.
Hey, no. You are more than welcome to stay with us. I think you could offer some tremendous feedback. But listen, June Madness, college baseball, I know it's not for everybody, but the Longhorns are now just two wins away from a 37th trip to the College World Series in Omaha. Hardball Hards, you were University of Texas signee. You were out there this weekend at the regionals. What was your take on this team? Because they really didn't have any issues. Really, there was a little stress early in that Arizona State game. That I think it was game 2.
Yeah, I thought it was a great showing. It was a dominant performance the entire weekend. That, to me, is how you need to go about your business during this time of the year. We talked about it. You played the opening with Mike Antico, and Antico said it. I mean, the humility is an unbelievable thing, guys. And we've all been humbled in our lives one way or another. And going up to OKC and them having an opportunity to play and not playing as well. And then things changed up on them. And coming back this past weekend, they got back to the things that make Texas baseball. You brought it up, Sean. I mean, they've been to regionals, they've been to Omaha, they've been through all these different things. And Texas needs to be the part of going to Omaha. That's it. That's the goal every year. It's on the side of the stadium when you walk in there. They don't dogpile until it's Omaha. So them handling their business, they were by far head and shoulders the best team at the Austin Regional. And now they get an opportunity. They're 2 wins away to Omaha. And to me, that is what it's all about. Texas has fortunately been healthy all year. And let me just say this, and you mentioned it. We were all there on Saturday last weekend when the game got pushed back a little bit. So it made people feel even better about being there. And they got some libations up in them. And it was outstanding. That energy in that place, it felt like a baseball game.
Yeah.
It was. And then you look at all the people that were outside of the stadium. It was outstanding. So I look for more of that to be happening this weekend.
Yeah, then they're going to host South Florida in the Super Regionals. And then for those who are not too familiar how that works, it's essentially the Sweet 16 of college baseball. First team to 2 wins, advance to the promised land, that being Omaha. South Florida, they were in the Gainesville, Florida Regional. And Hards, I still don't know what happened, but Florida was ousted 2-Q in an embarrassing kind of way. South Florida beat out South Alabama. And here's some numbers, and I'm sure you've seen these, and this is just a few. Runs scored, this is just for the season. Texas 408, South Florida 315. Home runs 62-55 in favor of Texas. Stolen bases 81-37 in favor of Texas. So Pierce and that coaching staff, they have these guys putting pressure on teams on the bases. ERA, hands down, Texas 2.87 to 404. And there's one stat that I've not seen used too often: Ks per 9 innings. 9.32 South Florida. Texas only 8.61. Can you elaborate on that just for a better understanding for those watching possibly?
Well, I mean, you got to remember, too, that it fluctuates. These numbers are going to change quite a bit. Just talking about the Ks per 9. Texas is striking out more people per inning. They're not striking out near as much. So one of the things that I was looking at too, Sean, evident to those numbers. But the reality of the conversation is this. South Florida hadn't seen arms. That's the biggest thing for me. And when you look at how this is all playing out, Texas has faced those big guns early in the year. All Big 12 has way better pitching than the AC conference. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason why that South Florida was a 4 seed in their own division. I mean, you can't quantify it, okay? So in game, you can be at the top of it and get knocked off your pedestal really quick. And Texas need to be humbled. And that's why Mike Antico said what he said. We needed to get a fire about us. And I think they're getting that fire back because they know that the goal is Omaha and winning in Omaha. It's not winning the regionals. It's not winning the super regionals. The goal every year as a baseball player at the University of Texas is to play home series, but get to Omaha. And that's why they're keeping their head down. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see much happening different from what we saw last weekend. I think the biggest challenges are next week, but you got to play the game. You got to play the game. And I can't wait to see what happens this Saturday night, 8:00 Central Time.
Horrible.
That's rough. That's a lot of drinking for some people out there. We are. And we'll probably be out there with them. But I'm just saying.
Hey, Harge, we were with them all 3 games in that regional, and Monday morning was absolutely rough. I mean, rough, but we got it done. And this is one of the reasons why. The absolute worst. And this is one of the reasons why, because Mark Pena and that Occupy Left Field family group, it's pretty phenomenal. And this is just tame, what I'm about to show you from afar. We'll discuss this after this video, my friend.
They had to save the dog. They had to save the dog. The dog looked like he was ready to go. Man, that's a party. That's a party. That's a party. And that's what I love about college baseball, man. That's what it's all about right there. The passion, the camaraderie, the people, the visitors that come over there that say, we got to see what this is all about. And they leave shaking their heads saying, this is amazing. And I'm sure they're trying to get that party started at their field next year and trying to see what they can do. But nobody does it like Mark Pena. He's been doing it for years. He's a baseball fanatic. He's a historian when it comes to the game and everybody that deals with the University of Texas. I'm thankful for him. Again, we talked about this before. He lost his mother not too long ago. But that guy continues to grind, man. And I just love me some Mark Pena.
Yeah, we all do. It's a great story. I joke, but it's a reason why it has become so successful. He's like running for mayor. Yeah, he's a politician, but he's real. He's saying hi and talking to everybody. He will talk to everybody there. Players' parents are a big part of it, and what they did and to honor his mother, the players' parents, phenomenal. I just want your impression Saturday night. Or Saturday evening, I walked up. I had a few libations prior, Brian Mays and myself. I see you. It's unlike me to miss a phone call on my phone. And then Katie Russell Newland, Dr. Katie Russell Newland and her entourage pulls up. And we were all there having a great time and with your entire family. And little Jazzy, your daughter, she almost got cut out of that group photo that we had at the bottom of it, but that smiling face of hers made it, and that was absolutely phenomenal.
And it was her birthday weekend. It was her birthday weekend, so the party just kept rolling all weekend. Texas advances. She's so excited. She's a huge Longhorn fan. But let me just tell you this, man. I expect the dish to be rocking just like that again this weekend. Tickets are sold out. You just got to get there and have some fun. And even if you don't have a ticket to the game, just get there. You'll still have a good time.
Absolutely. I was a little disappointed because the ticket situation, because I was under the impression and that the tickets would go on sale Tuesday when they revealed the times. Well, Monday, everybody received the email at 6:40 p.m. Hey, tickets go on sale for the Super Regional at 9 a.m. today. 9 hours later. But what are you going to do? Secondary ticket market is what we're going to do, and we're going to be paying an arm and a leg, and because we want to. Hey, but I got a parking pass, baby.
That's all you need, man. That's the hotter commodity. Let's just say that.
Absolutely. Hey, this one, I don't know if you were shocked, but Schlossnagle leaving TCU to go to Aggie Land to become Rob Childress' successor. Does that surprise you some?
No, not at all, because of the fact that at the end of the day, what more can he do at TCU? Right. You get a chance to go to the premier. You know, we're selfish because we love the Big 12. Right. The Premier League right now has been the SEC. They have all the top teams. We talked about it earlier this year about how many good arms were coming out there, including Vanderbilt. You got Tennessee. You got Ole Miss. You got Mississippi State. You got the number one team in the nation is Arkansas. What more can he do in the Big 12? He's been there 18 years. You got to kind of look at what's happening and, you know, what's a new challenge. Look at a new challenge. There's so many new coaches in different areas, and Kim Tadlock got a lifetime contract. I'm still trying to figure out what that means.
Yeah,
but he got a lifetime contract. And then you look at what Schlossnagle has done. I think it's important to understand that when you're a baseball mind or a professional athlete or a professional coach, things to get yourself in a position to be better. What bigger challenge can you have for yourself than going to the SEC, going down, as you like to say, Cowtown, Aggie Land, and go and see what's happening right there. So I'm excited for him, but, you know, the bigger situation is going to be what's going to happen at TCU. Who's going to replace him? Is it Sarlis? Are they doing a big search? LSU is still trying to figure out what they're going to do, but they're still winning and trying to do what they're going to do. And then you look at what's going to happen with all these other schools. You saw Lance Berkman got Houston Baptist. Hope Cruz Jr. just took over at Rice. And yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. All these great baseball minds are now helping in the game, so I'm excited about it.
I am too, and it's 5 College World Series trips for Schlossnagle at TCU, and you mentioned the 18 seasons. Texas A&M AD Ross Bjork basically summed up and said it was a home run hire, and I could not agree more. And I have to say this: Olsen Field at Bluebell Parks, that's a great atmosphere for college baseball. As we continue the college baseball discussion, Virginia and Old Dominion were the last ones to settle a championship as far as their regional. There was a Virginia pitcher who has this tremendous sense of humor, absolutely hilarious. And this is what college baseball is all about, because it's unique and it's quite humorous, and college baseball fans just as humorous and comical. Just listen to this interview with our guy, Stephen Shaw, the pitcher of Virginia during the Columbia, South Carolina regional.
Let's go back to that last inning, 9th inning. What are the emotions like entering that inning?
Well, emotions are go in, win. I heard a fan offer free Dippin' Dots if I blew it, which the price of Dippin' Dots with inflation is just unreal. So for a brief moment, I was like, damn, Dippin' Dots sound good. But also I thought in the back of my head, we win today, we win tomorrow, or tonight. We're going to be here another day. That's more per diem. So that means I can buy my own Dippin' Dots and be a winner. So it's like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to attack. I think 3 words every time I'm out there. The first one's a swear word, starts with F. Second word's attack. Third one's win. And I just repeat that to myself. Unless, there's a breach in the system and I walk a guy and I got to tell myself I'm a few different things that is.
I love that guy. I love that guy. He threw his glove in the stands as well. And then he was like, dang it, I forgot. I got to go get that glove back. It's outstanding, man. It's outstanding.
And you know all about those per diems. Hey, the more you
I'm
win,
all
the
about
more
them per diems. It's like, okay, we stay one more day, we get more money. I could buy my own Dippin' Dots, man. I've been on road trips where you're like, man, how did I spend all my per diem? And it was like, because you were at the bar last night after the game and you were trying to impress somebody. That's how you lost your per diem. Bring peanut butter and jelly with you on the road.
Word of advice, sage advice on that baseball road trip, per diems. Hey, one topic, Women's College World Series, Harge, the championship game, 2:00 in the afternoon on a Thursday. This thing should be prime time because that game has grown significantly. It's electric. I had the opportunity when I was working OKC to follow that, and it really gave me a new perspective. And they just added 2 upper decks to Hall of Fame Stadium there in OKC, 13,000 capacity. And they're filling that thing up this year, but yet OU's back in it, and they're supposed to play – they're playing Florida State 2:00 in the afternoon. That's a slap in the face, in my opinion, to female athletes who have done everything they can to build.
It definitely should be
what it is.
It definitely should be a primetime game. And you know, I'm a big fan of the women's game. I'm a big fan of fast pitch. I mean, we've been blessed to see a lot of great performances, a lot of great hitters, pitchers, just all around plays. And they're making diving plays. They're jumping all over the place. I mean, it's just an unbelievable atmosphere. And to your point, it is sad that is what happened. But you know what? People are still watching it. People are still going to be there. They're going to be just fine.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. You know, I'm just glad that we're at that point to where that's where we are with it now. It's pretty impressive. Women's College World Series has come a long ways, and it's fun to see. And if you haven't had a chance, go out there and take a look up in Oklahoma City.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
Harge, beautiful job by your son there. Tell me something good, my brother.
Man, you know, as I opened it up, we were talking about men's health, and I want to continue to spread light on that. Fellas, go get yourself checked. You know, if everyone on this podcast, but before I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I went through a battle with that. I call myself fortunate. You know, everybody hates the C word. I call myself fortunate because I got it checked early. It was a random situation, doing a promotion when I was on the radio, and went and got a procedure done. And they was like, hey, man, there's some abnormalities in there, so let's check it out. Sure enough, I ended up having prostate cancer. But the fact that I got checked and was doing something helped me catch it up front. And I would encourage everyone, I know it sucks going to the doctor, but do yourself a favor, do family a favor, and do what's right and go get checked. There's a lot of medicine's come a long way, and treatment has come a long way. So if you get it early, get it detected early, there's ways that they can help you, and you can go on and live a normal life. I mean, I'm still in the game, player. I'm still in the game. So
Hell,
go get checked. And
man.
that's my tell me something good. Tell me
man,
something.
I love it. Inspiring. And it's also, and I got to play off of that. Men, join us, join Harge and being proactive in your health and to go get checked annually. I did. And I think it saved me, and it saves everybody who does that proactively. Harge, tell me something good. I've got to go. I got to give a shout out to all the followers in Ohio. Man, you guys are leading the way of number of people in the state of Ohio on the listening platform of Stories Inside the Man Cave. So big shout out to all of you guys in the Buckeye State and to the high school state baseball tournament at Dishfalk and at Dale Diamond, the Rouse Raiders, Shiner, and the Fayetteville Bulldogs, state champs right there for the Austin area. We got to give a big shout out to someone who I think is was, I guess you could say, a mentor or inspired you hard. David Denny, Barbers Hill High School, back at the state tournament again, Longhorn legend, and he is now a Texas high school baseball coach legend. And I mean, sum up that guy. I mean, he's from Humble to Barbers Hill now doing big things.
Yeah, done an unbelievable job, and these guys continue to grow. I mean, that's what it's all about, and that goes back to what we were talking about, the traditions and what you learn from your mentors, like Coach Gustafson taught David Denny and the great Ty Harrington and guys like that who are now out doing special things. And when you can, not only are you a baseball coach, you're a father, you're an uncle, you're a big brother, you're a counselor. You are able to talk to them about everything, and you're shaping the minds of our youth. And Garrido said it best. The world treats winners differently. So if you can put yourself in a winner's bracket and let yourself have that opportunity, it's amazing. So congratulations and kudos to all them that are going to have an opportunity to play for a state championship.
I think that's awesome, man. And what's awesome is the fact that we continue to have some inspiring stories. The Gavin Graham of the Graham fabulous Austin family, who is the son of a Longhorn legend, that being William Graham. He was unable to attend or make his presence known here. Beautiful family to the Grahams. And we thank our sponsors, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency and Cosmic Coffee and Beer Garden on the south side of Austin. And for the absent Coach Mo and Big Mike of the Last Stand Hats and our brother, Hardball Hards right here, we out.
I'll holla.
We out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.